Yo,
in that
this
there was,
is
you know,
a
some
very
protesters that were
crazy
walking
day,
to the
guys. It
hallway and
is
Capitol
January
Police were kind of
6th. The
following them, but they weren't
Capitol is
necessarily arresting them.
completely out of
It's really unclear as
control.
to how they're really
This is not
dealing with the
something we normally
protesters.
do,
I
but
haven't
I'm
seen
just
any
watching
arrests,
this and
but
I
I've
just
also been
cannot
watching
believe it,
the
and I kind of
news
just
up
wanted
in,
to
you know,
see it
in our
with you guys. But
offices. So
somebody is
we're just
sitting
sheltered in place at the moment right now. But I
in
have to
the
say that this
Senate
scene that you're
president, which is
seeing
a
right now
vice
on television
president chair. They
is
have
just is
breached the
absolutely
Capitol.
stunning. The
This
idea that
is
these people have come
crazy,
from
guys.
outside and broken into the Capitol and decided
Holy
to take
crap,
the
this is
Senate
so
floor like this,
crazy.
where, you know, just about
So
an
how's
hour and a
everybody
half or 2
doing? I
hours
hope
ago,
you're having a better day
there was
than everybody
debating
in
an
Washington,
objection to the
D.C. right
Electoral College.
now.
It's just a stunning
I'm just
scene.
kind of browsing Twitter and browsing different news sources right now.
If
Look
this
at
picture
this.
makes you sick, I think you're probably not alone. This is
People
inside
are inside of the
the
Capitol building.
chambers
They
of the
stormed the
American
Capitol
Congress.
building. This is
People
so
freely
crazy.
walking among the tables and the
What's
desks.
going on, Dakota? What up, Trucker Gamer? Welcome to the stream. You're in
beyond
DC. Be
unbelievable.
careful there,
I
DSG.
want to go to
Yeah, just to kind of nail down his point,
Wowzers.
though. I mean, you know, they still need
Let me know if you guys
to
can hear everything.
finish
Okay, I'm
this
gonna
count. They
bounce
still
around
need
to
be able
different
to return here
streams
and do their
here.
work. And there's no
But
way that
wow.
this will require sweeps. I mean, once they actually clear the
Oh my goodness.
Capitol Police
What a
specific
day.
reporting. I am not aware of all of the potential locations.
Wow.
I do believe that would require secure transportation.
Alright, let's just bounce around. I have a couple of feeds open already. Let's see what
roughly
up.
5'8" or whatever. It's about 6 feet. You got probably this is probably a 21-foot wall that people are scaling over
climbing.
here to climb into or up
Oh,
to
let me
the Capitol
fix the
building.
stream here.
Unbelievable.
Looks like the house side, but
Oh, another shot. Look at that.
Okay, so
They got guns drawn, guys. Wait, what am I doing here? Center. Stretch the stream. There we go.
Hold the country together more than any law. And so there may not be any law.
Let's pop on really quickly over
Yeah,
to
I wonder if
this
they are
channel.
going
Let's just
to
see.
bring in the National
Get some
Guard.
interviews or something.
Yo,
to
Pro
say
Gamer Dude,
publicly
what
right
up,
now.
bro? This is
But
insane,
what is the
bro.
mood like where you are?
I would say there's
Absolutely
a
insane.
lot
This
of
is like
nervousness
one
and
of your
concern.
videos.
When we were still in the chamber, even just locked down in that space, that
Sorry,
senators
Ember
do
Rose.
obviously
I
feel
think
really
the chat would be
comfortable
okay.
in the
I slowed it
chamber.
down a
They,
lot.
as soon as the doors were locked, were all on their
I could
phones,
slow it
whether they were
down more, if
talking to
anything.
family or staff. I don't know, but they were basically relaying that for the moment they were safe. And
This is so far on
Let's see. This probably been playing for like 2 minutes.
I think this just speaks to the very strange mood that we're in.
Wait, I'm muted?
As I told you, I saw some people with tears in their eye, fear on their face.
Wait, can you guys hear me?
Representative Desaulniers said, "I love your
Yeah,
cat."
it's crazy. Like, this is like a once in a lifetime
inside
thing.
the
Like,
Capitol, you know,
wow.
there is some calm. There are some people who are trying to keep spirits high, like he is. Obviously, my cat is way more famous than I am, so that was an appropriate remark. But it's just more
All
the
right, let's
mood
get
here. I
back
think we are
to some regular news over here.
In uppercase are the party of law and order. Respect the law.
Yeah, that's probably what it was. I need to pause them.
Thank you. But this is the same president who repeatedly told them to fight, repeatedly told his supporters that he was robbed of this election, and they were too, that their votes were discounted.
What is happening? Basically, they're protesting the election results in the capital of the United States.
In many ways incited this kind of fervor. The president always measures how he is being perceived by his crowd size, and there was an enormous crowd today. And as you
I can't believe they got inside, though. That is crazy. Oh, my bad.
There were several people with dogs. I'm one of those dog people who always talks to the people who are walking their dogs with these kinds of events. And there were the flags, and there were all of the things that in a typical Trump rally environment before the election were much more upbeat. These folks were determined to walk to the Capitol and to...
I'm trying to get the, somebody had them like inside.
The Senate side of the
I don't want to
Capitol
do this in
grounds.
GTA 5.
Here's
This
some
is
of the,
crazy. I feel bad for
protesters.
the
You can see them walking
officers right
away,
now.
walking away from the Capitol at this point. Obviously, there are many more still on the Capitol grounds. And
As far as moderating the chat, I didn't
situation
really
unclear.
think about that, but
the security question
I don't even know.
remains. We do
let's just
know
not
from,
argue with
the
each other. Let's
Speaker's
just
office,
not fight in the chat,
according to
guys. We're
Scott
just
Wong's
kind of
reporting
watching.
that the Speaker has
I saw
been
that, Havoc. I'm trying to find that
evacuated to
feed. I
safe,
saw it on
unharmed,
TV earlier. They
in the
had
line of
guns drawn and they
succession.
were holding
falls
out
after the Vice
the
President.
people, which is
Lawmakers
crazy.
as well have been
Saw a ladder
removed,
truck trying to get through. Wow.
from the
I saw an
chamber.
ambulance
It's
trying to
Senate, we
get through
know that.
too.
And the Capitol Police
Aren't
have
the
asked
reporters
for
trespassing too?
law
Kind of, yeah, but they gotta
help
news. It's
on-
like,
on
I
Capitol
mean,
Hill.
it's just
I wanna
crazy. They're
show
just
you this
reporting it.
image
I
on
don't know. I'm
Facebook.
not an
This
expert.
is
I'm
the
just.
House
Oh yeah,
chamber,
this
I
is what I'm
believe,
looking for, guys. Look at this.
Where guns were
That's
drawn,
scary.
as many reporters noted before. This was in the House chamber earlier today.
That is something we
3:20
haven't
p.m.
seen.
here on
Guns
the East Coast,
drawn.
and the
I hope nobody
House
gets
and
hurt,
Senate
man.
were in the process of debating the first
I
objection
hope nothing crazy
to
happens.
the Arizona
This is
Electoral College votes
concerning.
when the protesters who came to Washington in support of the president stormed the Capitol and breached the Capitol security, got into
I'm trying to see
the
what
Capitol
other.
itself, into the hallways, into the Senate chamber. We've seen from images as well into
They got USA
House chamber
Today.
as well, or at least outside of the
I'm
House
trying to
chamber
give you guys
at this point.
everything. That way we keep it non-biased,
Lawmakers
but
are being told to shelter in place. The
it is
DC
crazy.
mayor has called for a 6 p.m. East Coast curfew, and the scene is unfolding on Capitol Hill.
Go to Fox News. They have guns
We're
drawn.
waiting
Yeah, they had
to,
it on a couple of them. Let me see.
Find out more information, obviously, from Capitol Police. As
I have
to
so many
what
feeds
happens
going. It's
next.
gonna probably
Do we still have
mess
Niels
up.
Are you
Lewis
tired of the
with us?
media spinning the truth and pushing false narratives? Well,
Yes. All right, let's see what Fox News is saying. They all pretty much are saying the same thing. This one has no sound. It had sound. They're probably gonna come back to this in a little while. Yeah, all of this is happening right now, which is insane. All right, we'll come back to the Fox News one because it's kind of crazy. I think the best feed is kind of the NBC one. They're kind of showing
but
everything.
one that we were intending to carry out today until it was interrupted.
GTA 5 mods, protesters beat
Did
the
you
walls.
come face to face with any of the
No,
protesters?
thank you.
I did not. Where we were on our way out, there were protesters who were laid out.
Someone
in
got
the
shot in the
prone
neck. I
position.
hope not.
Capitol
Let's not
Police
wish
had,
that or say that.
clearly taken
I don't want to
control of
spread
the
anything
situation,
false.
and as they were leading us and
but
members of the press out,
This is crazy.
that was at that point as close as we got, kind of person to person.
What is this?
Were you and your colleagues
my
wearing
goodness.
gas masks as you were leaving?
Congressman David Throne in the United
some
States of
people were,
America
so we all had
2021
them. We
being
had them open, we had
evacuated
them deployed.
from Congress chamber
there was,
with this. This
some
is supposed to
people were
protect
saying
them
that
from
we
the
needed to put them
gas.
on. Some didn't have them on, but everybody was ready because, again, in the end, the way we actually evacuated out of the gallery, we did not go in the direction where there was the chemical irritant.
Oh, there you go.
And so
And just to think about this, they have gotten to the...
and didn't come in contact with any of the irritant.
The truth will be
we're glad you're
revealed.
okay. So let's talk now about
Infowars.
what we are seeing. What is
Wait.
happening outside
They're on
the
top of a
Capitol.
Bearcat. What in the
Give me your
world?
thoughts, how we got
What's going on,
here,
Sean? Welcome to the
and where we
stream.
go
That's one of
forward.
our sponsors.
You
Sorry,
know,
this
I'm
is
a-
kind of
I'm a
out of
former
control,
intelligence
but
officer,
I was just
and
interested
my
in
whole
watching this,
background is
and
understanding the challenges that
Wow.
foreign governments are facing.
like this
the
never
scene
really
that we
happened
saw
before.
on
This is
Capitol Hill,
insane.
The banging, the yelling.
I mean, it has
the
technically
demands
happened
to
if you go
enter
back
the-
far
the
enough, but I mean,
chamber.
like in modern
The
history,
United
in my
States Congress, those are
lifetime,
the sorts of things that happen
this
in-
is
in
crazy.
third
Like
world
they're on
nations,
top of
the
a
sorts of
Bearcat
places
right
where
now.
Our diplomats and intelligence officers write home to the United States and say, you know, this is a dangerous
I wonder what the
scenario.
stock market
This
is
is
doing. I
a
want to look at the
endangered
stocks.
democracy. it's deeply, deeply
Oh my
disturbing
God.
what we saw.
I really
Capitol
hope nobody
today.
gets hurt, man.
And,
I don't want
but my-
anyone to
again,
get
my
hurt,
appreciation
whether
to the
whatever
Capitol
side you're
Police
on.
for doing everything they
But look
possibly
at
could
this,
to keep
guns
us, our
drawn.
staff, our teams, the
Wow,
cafeteria
witnessing
workers,
history. Yes,
sanitation workers,
yes,
and
indeed.
employees of the Capitol and members of the press.
This is a history.
as they work to
This is
systematically
crazy.
ensure that active threats
Not
were
history we would
subdued,
really want to see, but
and that we could get to a safe place.
they're inside the Capitol building.
All right, Representative Abigail Spanberger from Virginia.
They got
thank
gas
you for taking
going
some
off.
time. Okay.
Thank you so much. And again,
Wow.
thanks to the Capitol Police and Metro
Let's look
Police
at
who's
this
been responding to help as
on
well. Thank
Twitter really quickly. So I'm just gonna kind of be bumping back and forth. Oh yeah, this guy is posting a lot of stuff. He's actually in there like a free news reporter. But wow. Oh wait, I gotta turn the volume back on. That's a lot of people. This is like a freaking movie, but this is like White House Down and all of those movies. London Has Fallen, Olympus Has Fallen, but this is real life. Whoa. This is scary stuff. You want me to see a CNN one? I gotta see. I can't find a CNN live stream. I have NBC. I have
it doesn't
Fox,
really matter how long it takes. I mean, they've got until the
and I
20th,
have
obviously, which is
C-SPAN up right
Inauguration
now.
Day. A couple of thoughts, Lester. Number one, this scene is obviously going to cause.
Hey, Cal is back, one of our newer supporters. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Really do appreciate that. It looks like Fox still didn't get their audio back. All right. What did you get? You said you want to see CNN. I don't think they're live though. Yeah, they're not live. I would have to log in on my Hulu to see them, but that's a lot of work. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Really do appreciate that.
Praying for the safety of
I know,
Vice
Onyx.
President
This is
Pence, as well as the members
crazy.
that were in
Crazy.
the
What's going on,
chamber,
Rocket City
and
Gamers?
those members that are here on the Capitol Hill and their staff. So many people doing the work.
I feel bad for the
work
people
here
just
in
caught in the middle
Washington
right now,
and
like
hoping
just
that
trying
they
to do their
remain
jobs and they're caught in the middle.
Chad Pergram is tweeting out.
Wow.
From
I just hope no one
Hollywood.
gets
He
hurt.
Says Fox News has learned that
What up,
shooting victim
C1?
was
Welcome to the
transported from the U.S. Capitol about 30
stream.
minutes ago. No other details yet. Your reaction?
But yeah, let's just try to keep
you know,
the
this is
chat.
just a travesty,
I know it's going to
what
be
has
out of
happened,
control,
and
but let's
I
just
am
kind of be
confident that
cool.
not
Let's
only will the Capitol
nobody
Police,
argue
but
and
others
stuff.
continue to watch and to investigate this. Those who incited this riot, those
All
who
right,
are
so I'm gonna go back to Twitter because Twitter be having like the breaking news. Oh my God, I did see someone say this in the chat too. I hope that's not true, but they're reporting this woman fighting for her life. What in the world? The Senate is clear of rioters, so it looks like they're making progress there. Kevin Lawrence of Live PD, and where is he? In South Carolina. For all my friends, family, and others in D.C. and Maryland, to all the D.C. Police Department, all other local, state, federal, and law enforcement officers, stay vigilant, come home safe. This guy has some crazy videos, so let's look through his thing real quick. This was posted 3 minutes ago. Damn. Hey, Kyson. Yeah, leave the officer alone. Wow. There may be some bad language in here too, guys. Just so everybody knows. Yeah. Wowzers. Emergency curfew. I saw that already. They went through the door. They went through windows. This was outside earlier today. Damn. Hey, Primero. Yeah, I just started streaming. I would even plan. I couldn't. I was just watching this. It's crazy. Crazy stuff going on.
Try to pull this up. Mick Mulvaney, I believe, is among them, calling on the president to say something. His allies, his aides, getting out there on Twitter, sure, saying, "Hey, stop! This is not okay. This is not appropriate. This is not who we are." The president.
Wow. I want to see some more stuff from the inside. Everything right now is pretty much outside stuff.
Months ago, he refused to say that he would support a peaceful transfer of power, that would come into play, where he can say,
a lot of people.
I lost the election. Joe Biden will be the next president. Evacuate the Capitol right now. He won't say it.
Twitter deleted it. It's gone already.
This scene. A few months ago.
Yeah, I heard that the National Guard, they had 300 guardsmen ready. Supposedly, I don't know if that's true or not. But no, let's not do that there. Hold up, where's my other mouse? My mouse is all in the wrong spots. Normally I could catch stuff like that faster. But yeah.
Suggest that the president has not met some of those moments.
I don't know what's up with their audio. Theirs hasn't been on in a while. Maybe we'll refresh it and see. Probably gonna pay an ad.
I'm seeing that some of them are walking
National
away
Guard.
From the ground.
A lot of people are saying that hi from Austria. They're the same aggressive as BLM. Well, technically no, but let's see how that goes.
At this moment.
We have one of our camera techs out. And
Pray
I
for
think
everyone in
we're
Washington,
looking
D.C.
at
for
the
real.
east front of the
This
Capitol.
is just
Is that
crazy.
right?
That is correct. I'm looking at the. Well, I'm actually looking at the part where the presidential inauguration.
Yeah, he tweeted like I
Biden's
think
gonna
30
be held.
minutes ago or so.
I am looking at that. I'm in my office at the Rayburn Room. I'm in
But
Rayburn
I don't
office,
think the people who are doing this right now, they're not really looking at Twitter. They're storming the building. They don't care about Twitter right now. So they're not even going to see his tweet.
Not all of them, but I see movement
Friend from
away.
Cayman
So
Island,
maybe
British
some of
territory.
them
They get
came to
BBC
do what
News
they
just
needed to
text
do,
me,
and
what
they,
the hell's going on here? This is
called
how
it
we
a
look
quit.
to the rest of the
Congressman,
world. BBC
where were
News.
you? Where were you when?
I saw this guy too
the
on
Capitol
earlier on
grounds were
TV.
That was my office, as you know, because of social distancing. They only
It basically started today, because they were certifying the election results, and then it kind of just went crazy. Do you know who David Pakman is? He's a a journalist, right? YouTuber, journalist.
Capitol office, waiting to be called so we can go do the.
I hope no one's getting shot. You were listening to the police scan? We should listen to the police scan. I didn't even think about that.
And we are going to continue. These folks are not going to stop us.
Maybe
from
we'll
doing our job, and
try
we are gonna
that.
do it.
Both you and
crazy.
Delegates Plaskett have said this. Is this something that you're hearing from leadership?
National Guard request has been approved, so they will be heading there to deal with this.
We were told that we were going to continue. Of course,
Citywide
we have
curfew.
to,
I saw that earlier.
The security of.
Let's see what's trending right now on
staff
Twitter.
and members,
Are you
to
gonna
do
play
our
Snowrunner
work,
tonight with Riot? Oh yeah, I saw Riot was streaming. I'll hop
feel
on
that
and
it's,
play.
good
I gotta
to
see
get
what
back.
time
We
it is.
will
I forgot to
continue.
look.
I don't know exactly when they're going to tell us to do that, but we are going to continue. This disruption is not going to stop us from doing our jobs.
What do you know about preparations?
It's too many
by
people
the
there. They
Capitol
can't even
Police
lock people up. It's
before
like a million
all
people
of this
there.
happened? What were you told about how what would security be like today?
Oh no! What in the world?
Well, I mean, certainly they gave us some instructions. I'll leave it like that. They gave us some instructions.
Still got a
about today.
GoPro.
And,
What is he doing?
So they gave us instructions to be careful as we walked in and all that. But again, what the police did to ensure it, and I'm now looking out, and now I'm seeing a lot more police coming up. So there's now more police
at 9 p.m. Yeah, I'll hop
so
into the
they're
Rise
getting
stream.
More people to join the folks that need to. Finish,
It says U.S. Capitol Defense right now. That's kind of a funny meme.
Washington Post, Dan Lamothe is reporting that the entire D.C. National Guard will be activated today, putting about 1,100 guardsmen on duty tonight. This, according to defense officials, this comes after the breach on the Capitol by the protesters today.
Wow.
Congressman Cuellar, what has gone through your head?
This
as you're
was
watching
the scariest moment I've seen so far.
From the U.S. Capitol to the House chamber to the lawmakers like yourself who come here and work every week and have to go through security measures every day to get into.
Why are people doing memes about this?
Well, certainly this is not a ordinary day. The last time I saw something like this was 10 years ago with the Tea Party radicals that we have. But
Damn.
they were a little different. They did not try to breach the way we've seen
This is
here.
scary.
They did not get on the,
This is very
try to get on
scary.
the House floor and the Senate floor.
What's my opinion?
This vote
Like I
needs to
said, I
be a
think
little
it's
bit more aggressive
crazy
than what we
and
saw 10 years ago. But look, we come up
it's
here
just
to do our jobs, our staff.
just
a lot of them very young
insane.
People, that come in to do their job up here, and for them to be put through this because of the
feet are we
people
on?
outside that I'm looking at.
Hey,
outside the
Buffy.
window, is not right.
So basically, there's a
police,
giant
been put through
protest
this because,
in Washington D.C. and they entered the Capitol, which is pretty crazy.
motivated, by the
They got
rally
through
that
like the police
President Trump
barricades and all
joined,
that stuff,
this morning.
and they are like
It's not
inside,
right. We
which is
come
insane.
up here, and the staff come up here to do their jobs. Our jobs, they have a job to do, and you're seeing these people that are not respecting the police.
See, did this ever come back? Yeah, I don't know what's up with this one. It still has no sound. What's up, Mr. Wizard? Yeah, this one still has no sound.
Spot because it's not a state. So
This was a
questions
while
about
ago.
what, the Defense Department
Well, it
may
says
do,
moments ago,
in
but
that
I think
instance,
this
we
was
are
from
waiting,
like
to
an
find
hour
out and are
ago.
in touch with the Speaker's office. But it has been an incredibly difficult day here on Capitol Hill. It started, of course, with the initial proceedings to begin the process to ratify President-elect Joe Biden as President of the United States. That all unfolded, it seemed, as it should have at the beginning. But of course,
Yeah,
these protesters
maybe.
approached the building, ultimately breached
Hey,
the Capitol,
Kamari.
and then breached the House and Senate floors, which is not
Let's
something
try to keep the
I don't
clap
think
just
anyone who
free,
was walking
man.
into
I
this
don't-
building
let's-
today anticipated.
We're just trying
and,
to
certainly
watch. I
those
don't
of us
really
who
want
have,
to
been working up
censor
here every
nobody.
day
I don't
for
want
many,
to
many years
block
now
this,
have
block
never
that,
seen,
but I don't want to.
anything like
I don't
this
know.
before. So you are seeing increasingly Republicans coming out and calling on President Trump to urge the people who are here to stand down. Kevin McCarthy, the House leader, was recently interviewed on Fox News. He called it un-American.
They
He
made it
said
into the
needs to
chambers,
stop.
yeah.
He said that he didn't even want to talk about some of the things that he had seen in the chamber. He referenced
Yeah,
shots
that's
fired, and
that's
I know our
a
Pete
well
Williams,
said,
reported that.
as Buffy
Our producer
says.
Haley Talbot was in the House of Representatives in the gallery watching the floor as events unfolded there, as the Capitol Police barricaded one of the doors as they evacuated members of the House of Representatives. Some of those members donning gas masks that are situated under the chairs in that chamber. Because,
Yeah, we saw a picture of them with the
chemical
gas
irritants that
mask
were
on
discharged
earlier.
in the attempts to try and clear.
Well, I don't
want
to straight up turn off the chat,
We do know
but
members of congressional leadership are safe. Members of the House and Senate are being taken
What's
to
going on, Brandon?
undisclosed
Welcome to the
locations,
stream.
most of them already
I
in
heard they
those,
evacuated
undisclosed
Mike Pence
locations
now
if
too,
they-
so
they
I don't know
were
when is this
part
going to ever end
of
now
those initial-
because
of those initial groups. I've
how are they
texted
going
with
to come back
several,
and finish their
members of the
the
Senate who have
votes
said
and
that they
the
are
the
safe, that,
what else
they
they gotta
feel
do? The
safe at this point. So
can't
it
think
does
of the
seem
word.
as though that
The-
element of this
they're
has
not
been
debating,
diffused,
but
at least
you guys
the
know what I
last,
mean. How they're gonna
few
finish
minutes here
all
have
of this
felt more
stuff?
like stasis. The members who are involved in the actual functioning of our government have been removed from the immediate danger of the situation, and now the question is, how are they going to move forward and secure the building? So we
Yeah,
are
there's a
here
lot
in
of
the,
people.
Russell
People
Senate office
compared
building
to
where
law
things have been
enforcement, they're
largely quiet.
outnumbered big time.
Across the street, of course, the Capitol building, where you can see those protesters still milling around. But again, Savannah, important to underscore, this has halted the process, the regular process of our government.
Yeah, Casey, that's where I was going. I mean, this is January 6th. This is a date that was in stone. This is when you're
Here we
supposed
go. We got
to
backup coming.
certify the electors.
Yeah, this may be like the first time in history it's not certified today.
12, 13, 14, 15,
Virginia State
16,
Police.
17, 18, 19, 20, 21 SWAT team, 23,
Bearcat.
24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30,
Virginia State
31,
Police, those
32,
cars
another
right
SWAT
there.
team, 33, 4, 5. I've now seen over 50
Virginia,
cars in the last
Virginia.
2 minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
National Guard is on the way.
Here, and the reality is that this is supposed to be a formal transfer of power from one administration
Yep,
to the
there
next.
goes the
and
cavalry.
In fact, Senator Mitch McConnell was on the floor
Virginia
of the Senate,
sending him
someone
back
who
up.
critics, have said waited too long to criticize President Trump. But even he this morning was saying we have to believe these results. If we don't, then our democracy is going to begin a decline. A death spiral was the phrase that he used. So that's how we started the day, and then
Let's just see what else is
minutes
live right
later,
now.
this scene
So we saw
unfolds in the
NBC.
United States Capitol, which, again, I think it's important to realize most of these procedures are laid out in the Constitution. They are some of the oldest things that govern how we govern ourselves, how we work as a democracy. It's certainly something that I know many members of Congress who I talk to every day have taken great pride in being a part of that democracy.
The heck is that?
And right now we're seeing it halted by these people.
Absolutely, Casey. Sorry to cut you off. I want to jump to a member of Congress, Brendan Boyle, who's a Democrat from Pennsylvania. Who I believe he's on the phone. Congressman, I mean, first of all, are you safe? Are you okay?
Capitol taking its siege, trying to occupy it for a specific reason and in pursuit of a specific outcome, an outcome that would violate the Constitution and governing federal law. That is where we are. And I understand the political reluctance of Leader McCarthy to say that is what happened. But Rudy Giuliani speaks for the president.
This person has his dog out right now. How would I want to be in the middle of this?
That Leader McCarthy condemned this morning. They are not separable. They are inseparable. They are lockstep. And that is what has created this atmosphere. Again, we delineate. There are peaceful protesters there, and there are those
Maryland
who
State
stormed the
Police
United
are
States Capitol.
getting ready to send people
Those who
in.
stormed
Yeah,
and have taken this to a violent end.
Looks like it.
Must be dealt with. And as Leader McCarthy made clear, they are violating the law and must be prosecuted.
We sit here just before 4 o'clock on the East Coast, and it appears all the violence
It's gonna be a
is
long
over.
night.
It appears most, if not all, lawmakers are in and around the Capitol
Donut operators
campus,
live
whether it's
streaming. He's a former police officer too.
That's not good. Guys, what do you think? Do we have poll? Can you do polls on here? Or can we do a terrorist poll? Can I do a poll? I don't think I can do polls. Who's this guy? Ryder's still podium from the Capitol?
He's still on the
no.
podium. How are they gonna put all this stuff back together?
I'm not saying anyone's a terrorist. Okay. Oh shit. Oh,
That's an old picture.
I think we're pretty much called up.
Oh boy. Oh, what?
come inside the Capitol. I mean, look at the image. I don't know if you can see it. We're seeing people inside offices, ceremonial offices, and real working offices inside the Capitol who have barged in and having their way with the place. So assuming that this can be gotten under control, a law enforcement matter, would it be your hope that Congress reconvene today and try to complete its constitutional duty?
Well, I immediately have two thoughts. The first is it's absolutely sickening to see this militia or armed mob bring us to the point of anarchy. Never in 1,000 years did I ever think I would see this in the capital of the United States of America. But then my second thought is, I don't care how long I have to stay here. We are going to do our damn constitutional duty. There's no way I'm going to be chased off the capital of my own country by this mob and whoever is inciting them. Yes, we will do the people.
I was blown away at the I had inside my skin.
Within that first use, I saw a giant difference.
Yeah, their feet is all messed up. It's been on this forever.
And women of law enforcement are under assault. It is crucial that you help restore order by sending resources to to assist the police and ask those doing this to stand down. Some video here from a number of sources. This is from Washingtonian Magazine. Some of the video of protests earlier this afternoon, not that long ago, as protesters gathering up here, in this case, on the west front of the U.S. Capitol. That's from Washingtonian. Let me show you the video here that was shot by Steve Nelson, who reports tweeted by Steve Nelson, who reports on the Capitol for the New York Post. Some of the, what looks to be tear gas, although there were reports that fire extinguishers were set
I did
off
too
in
from
the U.S.
there. I
Capitol.
did too.
We'll try to keep you updated, particularly on potential times of return for the House and Senate and the joint session.
The vice president sent out a tweet at 3:35. The violence and destruction taking place at the U.S. Capitol must stop, and it must stop now. Anyone involved must respect law enforcement and immediately leave the building.
See, this is good, but the people,
Congressman
they're not on
Raskin
Twitter
is
right now.
joining
They
us,
ain't on
and
their
now,
phones. It's not like they're just going to look at the phone and be like,
Raskin,
okay, it's all over. Let's go
how
outside.
were you doing? Where were you when the Capitol was breached?
Well, let's see. They're still being careful about what we say, but I am in a safe location, still on the Hill, and so I think that all members are safe right now, as far as I know.
Where were you when they breached the Capitol and got inside these protesters?
I don't know when they actually breached the Capitol, but I do know there were repeated efforts to barrel into the Capitol chamber.
Photo up on the day where the president of the Senate, vice president, would normally sit and screaming that President Trump won this election. That's not a short drop. It's a drop of some 20 feet down from the third floor galleries where the guests usually sit.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, Jeremy.
What was going through your mind?
You're looking
as
at
you
it
saw
from
that?
Canada. It's not something good for the USA. Yeah, it's not. We're way too divided.
You would see something like this in a
What's up,
third world
Brenda?
country.
Hey, HC Gaming.
I'm shocked. I'm still shaking. I can't believe I'm seeing this in our country right now.
Well, we are glad you're okay, Igor. Thank you for telling us that story, a story that I would never expect to hear.
Using a
in this
rotator
country.
torture.
Thank you very much. I'm here with Tom Yamas as well. Tom, you have some more pictures from inside the chamber.
Yeah, that's right. We've been seeing so much video, but sometimes it's good to just kind of pause and look at some of the images that have unfolded over the last few hours. These come in from the Associated Press. This is inside the House gallery. You can see the look of concern on some of these members of Congress's faces right now as they duck for cover right there. This was as protesters were trying to enter the House chamber. We can go to the next photo here. You can see either the Secret Service or members of the Capitol Police here with their guns drawn. You can see their eyes.
Yeah, let's just try to keep the chat civil, guys. Let's not go crazy. I know this is a crazy situation. It's not something that happens every day.
This one is of the House gallery as well. You can see the members here wearing masks because they were afraid of the tear gas that was going to be used. They wanted to make sure these members of the House could breathe as they were evacuating them. You can see what Capitol Police were up against here. Just
if you guys want me to turn to any other
outnumbered. The amount
station,
of
just
people
put it in the
just
chat and
pressing
I'll
them
try to see
right
if we
up
get a
against
feed
the
of it.
door as well. I don't know if we have that last photo, but there was a photo here. Here we have some more House members leaving the House gallery as well, those masks in their hands. And George, there was another photo, a reverse angle, that actually had either the Secret Service or the members of the Capitol Police with their fingers on the trigger of
That
those
was
guns.
scary.
We know that someone has been shot from some of the information we have so far. It's incredible what we're seeing. And some of the images that aren't here, but the images that I've seen over the last couple of hours that have stood out to me, these protesters have cell phones in their hands. All the president has to do is send out a tweet to say retreat. That's all he has to do. Chris Christie, Kellyanne Conway, Senator Rubio, Mick Mulvaney, they're all asking him, almost begging, you could say, to call and ask for these protesters to retreat, and he still won't do that. And also, another image that I've seen that has upset me, the Confederate flag flying on the steps of the Capitol on the same day that Georgia has elected its first black senator. This is where we are right now. And George, you have to ask the question, and I know it's actually a question for you because you've advised presidents. President-elect Joe Biden knows he can't get in the middle of this because he will add fuel to the fire. But you could make the argument that this is his first real crisis and be up against in his administration.
At some point, he will have to address it. There is no question about that. As we see these pictures again, and I want to bring in Mary Bruce on this as well. Mary, as I was watching those pictures, I couldn't help myself because the pictures from
these people are like kind of really brave, because once you're inside this thing, it's one thing to be protesting outside, but once you're forcefully entering Capitol buildings.
Was supposed to be happening today is normally just a ceremony. It's a bit of pomp and circumstance, the certifying of these results. And as you say, it comes at a time where normally you have a new Congress getting ready to get to work. It's a completely opposite night and day image. And I mean, it's so
Don
surreal.
Tuna from
The fact that
Jamaica.
you are seeing these images from the floor, breaking windows, taking over the steps like that. The Confederate.
Okay, even if it's public property, you can't just go break into it and like break down windows and climb into it. Like, if the door is locked, you can't go inside.
And getting right outside what appeared to be the windows of Mitch McConnell's office, banging on those windows. The reports of some of these.
If that was the case, they'll just let them all in.
By door through the halls of the Capitol, looking for
It's a lot of
senators
people.
and lawmakers. I mean, this is just un-American, doesn't come close to describing what we are seeing here. And those calls are continuing to grow from Republicans
Jace.
and Democrats saying the president has got to stop this.
I think they're
You've
all
seen
scared,
the
honestly.
vice president now coming
Mitch
out and
McConnell's
doing
probably
just
scared.
that.
I mean,
Pence coming out and
Pence is
tweeting
probably
that
scared.
the violence has to stop, that this must stop now. The vice president going further than President Trump has been willing to go so far. President Trump only calling for peace. Republicans say that's not enough. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer just issued a joint statement saying that's not enough, that the president has to urge his supporters to back off and end this immediately.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to bring in Congresswoman Nancy Mace, Republican of South Carolina, just elected in November. Congresswoman Mace.
Wowzers. Wait, Bitcoin hit 36K during all of this nonsense. Bitcoin is 36 right now. That is crazy.
Out the work that needs to be done, and I'm not going to be deterred from standing my ground. You know, I will not quit my post. I will be here, and I will do the people's business.
Senator Tammy Duckworth of Illinois, thank you for calling in. Stay safe. Keep us posted. We'll stay in touch with you. Appreciate it. Lester, over to you.
Thanks. I want to bring in Hallie Jackson right now. Of course, is our chief White House correspondent. Hallie, you know, the president spoke to this crowd today. So much of what we've been hearing, of course, is that the
wait, where were we at?
Concerns that
Interesting day today, guys. Interesting day. We will not back down. So supposedly, oh yeah, this is Speaker Pelosi, Nancy Pelosi's office. 36,000 Bitcoin. Oh yeah, let's go back to this guy because this guy was like reporting here. Independent reporter on scene capturing original videos at rallies at BG on scene on Twitter. So let's see. This is 12 minutes ago. I think we saw these though, right? I don't think he posted anything new. Yeah, we already saw this one here. This is why we all need to unite and come together. Yes. Yes, yes, indeed. Until we come together, America is going to be very crazy. Can you switch to CBS? Yeah. CBS. I got so much stuff up. Oh, I don't have CBS up anymore. Oh, boy. All right, CBS News.
I've had about 60, maybe 70 days in court, in lots of different venues, bringing lots of different lawsuits.
They up in there.
And
look at he's
all
jumping
but
in.
One have been nullified
Oh no,
for
they're
lack
trying to
of
break
point of law
something.
and lack of evidence or lack of standing. And in 3 cases, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, federal courts invited the Trump campaign to
Wait,
bring
why does it have a
specific
riot
evidence
shield? They must have took that
of
from a cop.
grievances about the conduct of elections in those 3 states
Yeah, this
to
makes them
prove
money,
the
I mean,
allegations of fraud. And in
this
all
makes
3
them a lot of
instances,
money.
before federal courts,
The
the Trump
news media.
campaign withdrew, did not provide any evidence.
How did they have riot
So,
shields? They must have
these
took it from the cops.
Conspiracy theories have now quite clearly
I mean,
run
the
amok,
cops are
and
outnumbered.
they have
They
brought
can't
us
even do anything.
to this
There's not
sad
enough of
and
them.
deeply
They were-
regrettable
They were
moment we are
prepared,
seeing playing
but they
out
weren't
on live
prepared for
television.
this many people.
We just
and for
learned
them
that
to go
the
inside.
FBI has been deployed to assist U.S. Capitol
FBI
Police.
being deployed.
There are now concerns about
Yeah, they do.
those
I
who
hope no one
are,
gets hurt, man. Let's just
will be held responsible.
Let's just
in a
come back
criminal
tomorrow.
way.
Today
I
is
also want to
a
bring back
crazy
in
day. Let's
Jeffrey
just end
Rosen,
this. Come back tomorrow and start
who's
over.
president of the National Constitution
Because this
Center.
isn't it. This can't go on
and,
forever.
And Jeff,
I mean,
one
I
of
don't know.
the ideas that people have discussed in watching this is
I'm
part of the
sure
U.S. code
other
about
countries are
seditious
looking at us right now
conspiracy
like we are
and about what has led
a
us to
third
this
world
moment.
country right now.
Can you walk us through what is at the
I heard
heart
that too,
of
Timmy.
seditious
I heard
conspiracy?
That. United we stand, divided we fall. Yes, indeed.
Seditious conspiracy
Yes, indeed.
occurs
Joey,
when
thank you
two
for continuing
or more
your
people
membership there, Joey.
conspire
Welcome back.
to overthrow or put down by force the government of the United States in any state or any part of the United States
Wait,
subject
how
to
are they
its
holding
jurisdiction.
up the
So
Blue
this
Lives
law
Matter
has been
or the thin
used
blue
to
line?
prosecute Puerto Rican nationalists,
They're just like
white
blowing past the
supremacists,
police. What's up, Joey?
Islamic terrorists in the 1990s. Those have been the most
Trinidad went through the
recent
same thing,
uses
like
of that
something
law.
like this? Oh,
I've just
boy.
reread the text.
Joey, thank you
the
again for
conspiracy
becoming a
doesn't even have to
member
succeed.
yet
If-
again. I
even if it's
appreciate
attempted,
the months
it can
of
be
support there,
charged.
buddy. Thank you so much.
And I have not researched this or read the case law, so this isn't a carefully considered opinion. But the text of the law, which forbids 2 or more people conspiring to overthrow by force the government of the United States,
I know, right?
arguably
Almost at
applies to this
600K.
case.
Where are we at anyway? I think
Jeffrey
we're at
Rosen, thank you
590
as always
something.
for your brilliance and for standing with us. And just
What's up,
one
Julian?
more point on that, on the idea of seditious conspiracy and what you just
Yeah,
laid out.
they could
Do you
protest all
imagine
day
that's
long,
something
but
that someone could be
you-
charged with?
You shouldn't be going inside of the Capitol. though.
Well,
I mean,
it could indeed. That would be a
That's pretty
federal
crazy.
decision. It would be under the
to be
Department of Justice.
Because then, like, how are they
the new
going to
department,
finish their counts?
led by
They're supposed
Merrick
to be,
Garland, who's just been
what
nominated
was they
today.
doing? What's
could
the word
bring those
again
charges.
that they were doing? They
would have to decide
trying to
which members of the mob to charge and how
I
they
don't know.
conspired
What were they
together.
debating? They were basically
but it would be
debating.
a
Now they
federal
can't even
charge,
debate
and
on
it
what's
could
what
indeed be
because all
brought
of this
by
happened.
the
So
US
now
government.
it's like,
And then,
what-
Jeff,
where
as
do
you
we
watch
do
all
next?
this, your
What's
thoughts?
the next step?
Your
Okay.
passion and the gravity of
Thank
your
ya.
reaction as you watch them are those that I share and all citizens
They say
share.
multiple
This
officers
is not
injured,
America, and we must cleave to the Constitution and the rule of law as a shining.
That sucks.
I want to get up. Yeah, Wolf, I was talking with a couple sources aligned with the Capitol Police who were trying to kind of walk me through what's occurred over the course of the last hour and a half. And in the words of one, they were, quote, simply overwhelmed. They did not expect the outline barriers.
I can't remember what it was before. So yeah, they're pretty much all showing the same thing right now. National Guards being deployed, we know that.
Squared away so that the counting can resume. You were talking about this earlier, Savannah. By law, by the Electoral Counting Act, it has to start today.
But I mean,
but there's no limit in how long it takes. They'll keep going until they're done. And if they're not done by Inauguration Day, and I have no reason to think that they won't be, but if they're not, then there's procedures to have, there's the Succession Act. The Speaker would become president temporarily until they can figure out who the president is, which obviously will be Joe Biden. Now, on the law enforcement side, we've noted that one person was shot inside the U.S. Capitol by someone from law enforcement, not sure which agency that was. We've been told by law enforcement authorities that at least one improvised explosive device was found on the Capitol grounds, not inside a building, but on the Capitol grounds, and possibly a second item. We know that law enforcement people are looking at that earlier this afternoon. Before we saw people storming the Capitol, the big concern was evacuation of the Library of Congress, which is directly across the street from the Capitol, and a portion of the House office building.
Is anyone enforcing COVID-19 laws? No, COVID-19 is
in case we have not caught up on this note, Kayleigh McEnany, the press secretary for the White House, said that the National Guard is on the way along with other federal protective services, and she says, we reiterate President Trump's call against violence and to remain peaceful, but we have not heard from the president, not recently, not within the last few moments, asking folks who are gathered there at the Capitol to call it off and to stop. Let me go to Casey Hunt. Casey, obviously, first question is always what's happening there behind you, but also.
Oh, she's inside. Let's hear what she
Senate now.
We have, Savannah, and they are calling for the president to do just what you said he has not yet done, which is to demand that all protesters leave the U.S. Capitol and Capitol grounds immediately. That is a joint statement from the House Speaker, Nancy Pelosi, and the Minority Leader in the Senate, Chuck Schumer. Now, I can also tell you, Savannah, that what has started today as fear, chaos, uncertainty about what was going on is hardening into resolve and determination to get the government back on track. So one member who is at the secure location where they've taken members of the House tells me that one Democrat and one Republican, Hakeem Jeffries, the Democrat, Liz Cheney, the Republican, informed those members on lockdown that the National Guard is on the way. There was applause in the room, and this member said to me that we will return to the floor and do our jobs, was the quote. I also heard from a member of the Senate who was.
So hopefully they could cool it off before nighttime. People are already making their jokes. Wait. Oh. I'm like, wait, why is KFC posting random stuff? Damn. They got overwhelmed. Look,
police are squabbling with protesters. Oh, there we go.
It's not enough for them. They can't even hold them back.
And they just breached the Capitol again.
This guy again. I keep seeing him everywhere. He has an interesting outfit. Like, what is this? Let's get some LOLs for his outfit. You guys like his outfit? National. These people just doing whatever they want. It's gonna take them a long time to clear all this stuff because they're gonna have to like clear every single inch of the Capitol, and then they're gonna have to make sure like there's no. Never know. They said they already have bomb squad there, and they already found an improvised explosive device. So they gotta make sure that there's nothing inside these buildings before they let all these people come back in and finish voting and certifying and this and that. So I don't know what's gonna happen now, because I knew it was gonna be a long day, because they're gonna do 2 hours to debate over every state or whatever. But wow. Let's keep the chat clean, guys. Keep the chat clean. Keep the chat clean. These guys, like, hey, wasn't expecting this when they came to work today. Just trying to make some money, feed their family. Oh my God, this is wrong. Oh boy. Oh.
Let's listen to the president-elect Joe Biden.
Late coming out to speak to you. I initially was going to talk about the economy, but all of you have been watching what I've been watching.
Biden's talking. All the news
At this
channels
hour,
are covering this now.
Our democracy is under an unprecedented assault, unlike anything we've seen in modern times. An assault on the citadel of liberty, the Capitol itself. An assault on the people's representatives and the Capitol Hill police, sworn to protect them, and the public servants who work at the heart of our republic. An assault on the rule of law.
They're predicting
like
John Ossoff
a few times we've ever seen it.
As being projected
An
as the winner.
assault on the most sacred of American undertakings, the doing of the people's business. Let me be very clear. The scenes of chaos at the Capitol do not reflect a true America, do not represent who we are. What we're seeing are a small number of extremists dedicated to lawlessness.
They should have just did the vote
This is
like
not
they wanted
dissent.
to. Like,
It's
bring out
disorder.
the evidence, let them
It's
vote
chaos.
on yes or no.
It borders
Now we're
on
not going to
sedition.
know forever. Not
And it
forever,
must
I mean, like,
end
for a long time.
now. I call
Ace
on this
Reporter Live,
mob
what's up? What's
to
up,
pull
Excalibur?
back and
Welcome to
allow
the
the
stream,
work of
man.
democracy to go forward.
Breaking news in Australia,
You heard
top
me say
story.
before
Oh yeah,
in
you're from
different
Australia.
contexts,
That's where you're from. I
The
remember
words of a president matter, no matter how good or bad that president is.
now. Sorry, moderators. I'm
At
giving
their
you guys
best,
way too much work today.
The words of a president can inspire.
But again, guys, let's keep the chat clean.
At their worst, they can incite. And therefore, I call on President Trump to go on national television now
Here, let me add
to
this
fulfill
as a
his
new
oath
pin message.
and defend the
So let's keep
Constitution
it clean, guys. Let's
and
just
demand an end to
see
this
what's going on.
siege,
On both sides.
to storm the Capitol, to smash windows, to occupy offices, the floor of the United States Senate, rummaging through desks,
Don't be
on
a
the
whole
Capitol,
lot.
on
That's
the
crazy.
House of Representatives, threatening the safety of duly elected officials.
What's up,
It's
Evan?
not
Welcome to the
protest.
stream.
It's insurrection. The world's watching. Like so many other Americans, I am genuinely shocked and saddened that our nation,
I am Canadian, so I'm just
long the
suspecting.
beacon of light and hope for democracy, has come to such a dark moment. Through war and strife, America's endured much, and we will endure here, and we will prevail again.
What's
and
up,
we'll
Drew?
prevail
Yo, Drew,
now.
how you been, man? It's
The
been a
work
while.
of the moment and the work of the next 4 years must be the restoration
I think something's
of
wrong with the
democracy,
Fox
of
camera, 'cause it's
decency,
been staring
honor,
at nothing for a while.
respect, the rule of law,
CBS,
just plain, simple
C-SPAN.
decency,
Wait, what's
the
this? Fox
renewal
News?
of the politics It's about solving problems, looking out for one another,
I don't know.
not stoking the flames of hate and
Fox,
chaos.
it's working fine. Oh, let's see. Yeah,
As I said,
Fox,
America's about honor, decency, respect, tolerance. That's who we are. That's who we've always been.
Oh, did you? I'm so sorry to hear that, Drew. How you feeling? You feeling okay?
It's supposed to be a sacred ritual.
Make sure you take care of yourself.
To affirm.
Stay on top of it.
The purpose is to affirm the majesty of American democracy. But today's reminder, a painful one.
You live in the UK, so you're
democracy is
spectating
fragile,
too.
and to preserve it requires people of goodwill, leaders with the courage to stand up.
You playing Call of Duty
who are
right
devoted
now.
not to the pursuit of power, but or the personal interest pursuits of their
I'm
own
very sorry
selfish
for your loss
interest
there,
at
Midland.
any cost, but of the common
What
good.
type of computer I use? I'll type it out in the chat for you. I
Think
built
what
my
our children
computer.
watching television is thinking.
What does my computer have?
Think what the rest of the world is looking at. For nearly 2.5 centuries, we, the people, in search of a more perfect union, have kept our eyes on that common good. America is so much better than what we've seen today. Watching the scenes from the Capitol, I was reminded, as I prepared other speeches in the past, I was reminded of the words of Abraham Lincoln
Yeah, world is
in his annual
pretty
message
crazy
to
right
Congress, whose work has today been interrupted by
now. I can't
chaos.
wait for the new Emergency update.
Here's what Lincoln
You
said.
can't even have a hooker over.
He said,
Now I
"We
know you're
shall
joking.
nobly
At least I know
save
you're feeling good because you're
or
making the
merely
hooker
lose
jokes. I know you're feeling good there,
the
Drew.
last best hope on earth." Went on to say, "The way is plain, peaceful, generous, just. A way which, if followed, the world will forever applaud, and God must forever bless. The way is plain here, too. That's who we are. It's the way of democracy,
I just
of
posted it,
respect,
Jonathan.
of
Scroll up
decency,
and look at my message.
of
I just
honor,
posted. Let me see if I can find it for you. I'll post it one more time. I'll copy
and
paste
commitment as patriots to this
it. So I'll
nation.
put my computer in the chat so you guys can see it. I built it.
Notwithstanding what I saw today,
Yo,
and we're
Firebug
seeing
Joe,
today,
how you doing, Joe? How's everything?
I remain
Welcome to the
optimistic about the
stream.
incredible opportunities. There has never been anything we can't do when we do it together. And this god-awful display
Don't
today
even want a civil war. A civil war
is bringing home
is
to every
terrible.
Republican and Democrat and Independent in the nation that we must step up.
Innocent
This is
people,
the
innocent
United
Americans will end up
States
dying.
of
That's
America.
not something we want to go
There's
through again.
never, ever, 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 ever been a thing we've tried to do that we've done it together. We've not been able to do it. So, President Trump, step up. May God bless America. May God protect our troops and all those folks at the Capitol who are trying to preserve order. Thank you, and I'm sorry to have kept you waiting.
We've seen today.
President-elect Joe Biden calling on President Trump to step up, calling.
Boy, oh, I keep seeing these crazy reports. Casey Neistat. People are really saying that he no longer follows him. He is following him. This is probably older. Oh, wait, this is the guy I was telling you guys about, BG. He's, I just came across his page yesterday, so I don't really know, but just going by his bio, independent reporter on scene capturing original videos, so, at BG on scene here. You hear the alarms going off in the background too? Oh, the flip emoji. Sorry. And I did copy and paste the thing, but I gotta change it. Oh, the VP account you're talking about. Oh, okay. My bad. Yeah, it's a button. I didn't realize I pressed it. Are they trying to get in or out here? That's pretty cool. What is that even? What are they doing? This is still the same old videos. Oh my god. He's just trying to do his job. He said we're gonna kill you. Watching from the UK. Bless you all. Yeah, thank you. We need it right now. Yeah, I'm probably gonna play some GTA later. I think we saw the rest of these already. Fox News resign. I'm just seeing all this stuff trending right now. Capitol's still like the #1. Yeah, that's the sad thing. You can see the fear. Jim Acosta, a source close to the White House who is in touch with some of the rioters at the Capitol, says the goal of those involved to stay in the Capitol throughout the night. Well, that's gonna be crazy if they try to do that. FBI is deploying help. This is the FBI SWAT team in the Capitol. Holy smokes. FBI SWAT team. These guys are not messing around. Got pistols and rifles. I'm trying to see if it says FBI. Oh, it keeps replaying. I forgot what was it. One person shot, supposedly one person bomb found on Capitol grounds. There's some scary looking pictures. You know it's bad too when they have the finger on the trigger, because when you hold in a firearm, you're normally supposed to, keep your finger off the trigger. You're supposed to have good finger discipline. So the fact that their fingers are on the trigger, you're not really supposed to do that unless you're about to pull the trigger. So that just shows how close this was to getting really worse, because there was a lot of people on the other side, and just one shot could just make you accidentally squeeze it, and then bam, now you got a whole nother problem on your hands. Come at me, bro. Look at our founding fathers watching this right now. They're like, here we go again. Oh my god. What the beeves, man? Why do you use a Call of Duty? This guy just took this as a souvenir. Well, be careful there, Corey. You should probably just try to get home, man, and get away from all of this, because you don't want to get caught up in the middle of something, One person could make this get even worse. So it's a keep star at the Capitol building. What's with the beeves, man? Yo, imagine. Oh, my God. Oh, Trump is talking now. Here we go.
They want it back. All
Wait,
Vice President Pence has to do.
No, this is from earlier.
To recertify.
Or is this...
And we become president, and you are the happiest people.
No, this is from earlier. I'm pretty sure this isn't live. Hold it. No, this
where they
is
could
live.
take it away from all of us.
What is
from
this?
Me, from you, from our country.
Where is he talking at? Is he talking? Oh, I thought he was talking live, but I guess not. Okay, yeah, I looked at that wrong. My bad, guys.
Coming and breaching the United States Capitol at the very moment it was performing a sacred constitutional duty, certifying the Electoral College in order to implement the peaceful transfer of power in our democracy. We've just heard from the Vice President, former Vice President Joe Biden, President-elect, who will take office in 2 weeks. He said democracy is fragile, and we're seeing that today. And he called directly on President Trump to get on camera, to get on television, and ask his supporters to call it off, to stop, to give up the game, and to retreat peacefully from the Capitol. As a law enforcement matter, we have not seen the Capitol Police or any of the other law enforcement agencies who have been called in to assist them come in an aggressive way trying to clear these protests. Whether they should or shouldn't is probably something that is a matter of debate right now. As we speak, members of the Senate and House there in Washington have been told to shelter in place wherever they are, whether it be their offices or in the matter of those who were on the Senate floor or on the House floor when this took place, when those demonstrators breached the Capitol, were taken to a secure location, which we cannot reveal.
Now you are
some of them are together. And in fact, we have reporting that those senators, the group of senators who were together, watched the President-elect Joe Biden's speech together. We also have been informed by one of our reporters on the scene, Kelly O'Donnell, that Vice President Pence is still at the Capitol because it is simply not safe for him to return to the White House. That is the situation in Washington right now. One woman has been shot. It appears to be a protester. The shot reportedly was from law enforcement. She has been taken to the hospital. We don't have an update on her condition. And that will bring you up to date. Also, an IED, that's an improvised explosive device, according to NBC News, was recovered on the Capitol grounds. Let me get to Congresswoman Liz Cheney, Republican from Wyoming. Congresswoman, you, of course, were an outspoken...
The other side. I know your pain. I know you're hurt. We had an election that was stolen from us. It was a landslide election, and everyone knows it, especially the other side. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. We have to have law and order. We have to respect our great people in law and order. We don't want anybody hurt. It's a very tough period of time. There's never been a time like this where such a thing happened, where they could take it away from all of us, from me, from you, from our country. This was a fraudulent election, but we can't play into the hands of these people. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. You're very special. You've seen what happens. You see the way others are treated that are so bad and so evil. I know how you feel. But go home and go home in peace.
Go home in peace. Let's see what happens next. So that was 6 minutes ago. I'm surprised he didn't just go on live on surprised he didn't go live on whatchamacallit, like just broadcast to the news. Yeah, this is nuts. I've been watching this like unfold the whole day, and like it's crazy. It is crazy. I don't know what's up with this, because there's 20,000 people supposedly watching this feed and nothing's happening. Maybe we could find another one. Oh wait, there's two of them. Oh, that's probably the problem. There's two Fox News streaming right now. So which one is the current one?
Additional
thoughts
now?
Found it.
Same thing. Hearing these reports that there's tear gas being used in the Rotunda, as Brett has just reported. The members are being told to get those gas masks that are under their seats. The other big question is, where is the vice president? We're told that he was rushed out of the chamber, and this answers the question that I raised before.
Oh, this one's not live. I'm blind. DC mayor holds press conference.
This next-gen space heater is a brand new way to warm up your entire home this winter, creating...
All right, so that probably didn't start yet.
Kevin McCarthy, the Republican leader in the House, told ABC, quote, "I called the president and explained to him what is going on. I begged him to go to the nation." He said that the president was recording a video message. The president has tweeted out that message, and again, we'll get that ready for you here.
Yeah, let's not compare it to 9/11.
You heard from the president-elect,
9/11
Joe Biden, going before the cameras to say that the Capitol's under siege, calling on the president to give a national address and saying that the democracy is under
a large presence. Perhaps you can see that over my shoulder. And you hear the cheers from the crowd because now they seem to be reacting to what law enforcement is doing. So what is happening here is it seems to be building to some sort of I don't know if confrontation is too strong a word, but some sort of face-off between police, law enforcement, and this crowd that is gathered here. Because over the last several minutes, we've seen some members of the crowd calling for more people to come to help them breach the Capitol. So they aren't backing down. They aren't all going home.
I believe in supporting.
Many of them are staying out here, still encouraging people to climb the walls and breach this Capitol. So it'll be interesting to see over the next few minutes, perhaps over the next couple of hours, how law enforcement reacts to this.
With the officers that are protecting and defending and who have gone down. Mr. President, tell your supporters to stop the violence, stop the assault now.
Not duty. He's doing what is allowed.
I want to see what's up with that SWAT team. Damn, they rolling in deep. Damn.
Get St. Louis.
This is GTA what 3? No, 4? GTA 4. Yep, FBI. Wow. I want to see what like another country is reporting. What's some other country news? Let's see, is BBC live streaming anything? Nah. Cause we kind of saw all of this stuff already. I want to see what.
This was stolen from you. This was awful, but go home now. Do you think that was the kind of statement that will get the job done?
Thank you.
Look, the President of the United States should have before now made clear that he wasn't going to countenance any kind of attack or violent activity like this. And it is good that he has asked people to go home, but what has happened today is unprecedented in American history. And when you have violent mobs storming the floor of the House of Representatives and the floor of the United States Senate,
am I going to live stream 5 Squad tonight? No, I'm probably going to be on the Cuffs 5M server later. Check out Donut Operator. We came across his channel
counter
earlier.
to the Constitution. And
all right, let me head over back to him. So it'll be interesting to hear his perspective as a officer, former officer, I believe. Donut Operator. Shit.
All right, dude.
You got the
I have a shirt on that I stole from Angry Cops, by the way. Taco Tuesday. Thank you, Angry Cops, for the shirt.
Let's get back to the news. Hashtag DNN. Can we get a hashtag Donut News Network trending on Twitter? Huh?
Donut News Network, that'd be funny. They had 2 million subscribers. That's awesome.
Oh, that would be really funny. I mean, there's 65,000 people in here, and it only takes like 10,000 to get something trending. Yeah, there's stuff trending that has like 36,000, 35,000, blah, blah, blah.
All right, we'll leave that. Nothing's really happening on his stream. Let's see. What is this? I don't know if what are like legit and not. Starting to get
very, very dangerous thing. And
sounds going to be going down in about an hour and a half.
Remember, this will be part of his legacy, and it is a dangerous
you should do
moment.
Congresswoman Liz Cheney of Wyoming, stay safe, keep us posted, and thank you for your time. We really appreciate it.
TX from Montreal.
Appreciate it.
4:30 on the East Coast here as we watch what's unfolding at the Capitol. Lester, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, Savannah, I want to bring in Andrea Mitchell right now. Andrea, your thoughts on what we heard in that video tweet from the president? As is often the case with him, he doesn't retreat. Did he pour water or?
Yeah, let's see what this is. Hold up.
Well, in fact, Adrian and I have moved because it was a little too raucous down in the Canadian Embassy. We were five blocks away from the Capitol. Trump supporters can be quite hostile to media, and
I'll try to get there.
They sort of swarmed our little crew. We have a security guard, as you often do in potentially dangerous situations, and so we just very calmly sort of removed ourselves from the situation. But I think it's worth mentioning that we were heckled for quite maybe 2 blocks as we sort of made our way out of there, and so that is a good temperature reading, I think, of what it's like here. There are pockets of very angry people who are continuing to feel very sore about the results of this election. That's why they're here.
Yeah, so you're listening to donut operator there, fire.
They don't accept that this was a fair election. They don't accept that there wasn't some
Look at the Bearcat. You guys see the
here,
Bearcat here? They're on top of the Bearcat.
Even Republican election officials have weighed in and said no.
Hopefully it's luck. I'm sure
these are free and fair elections in state after state after state. So
this is a
got a little flavor of that today. And
if anyone
also,
knows any other
we were close to the Capitol, and so therefore we saw people running towards danger. They were wearing combat gear. They were talking about holding the line. And in fact, when I was here speaking with Andrew a little earlier this afternoon, there were a number of people urging others to make that run. It's a bit of a gauntlet. It's about 20 odd blocks to storm the Capitol. And that has been, there is an underpinning here. There is...
Where's the Bearcat?
There is a subsection of people here, and that is what they want to do. They want to... They want to overthrow the election. This is what they want to do.
Well, I don't know if it's a Bearcat. There was another video with them on the Bearcat. I'm not sure if this is the same
going over the barricades.
This could just be a regular
firing off firecrackers.
Or maybe I'm just seeing something. But don't this look like a windshield right here?
Inside the Capitol today.
I see wiper blades.
It's been a day, Adrian.
That it has. Katie, strange question, and I don't expect you to entirely have the answer to this. So we've seen these scenes. We've heard of possible injuries. I haven't heard anything about arrests yet. Has anybody been arrested for what's going on?
Of American
Sky News is
our earlier crews were on site and did observe what appeared to be arrests. I have not checked in with DC Police yet, so I don't want to give any false information. But certainly with the police stepping up their presence here and with so many police interactions with protesters, I'm sure that we can expect to hear of some arrests. There certainly were skirmishes last night on the streets.
To try to overturn the election results from last November, security barricades have apparently been breached outside the Capitol building. Police, we are told, have fired some tear gas at protesters, and the doors of the Senate chamber have been closed and locked. It was inside the Senate where they were going to ratify that election result.
Oh, yeah, the embassy
Vice
mission.
President
That was
Mike
a fun
Pence, who
mission,
presides over the
probably.
Senate, has apparently been escorted to a secure location. Other senators and congressmen and women are apparently sheltering in their offices. The protesters are trying to stop Congress from formally approving President-elect Joe Biden's victory back in November's election. And in the last few minutes, President Trump has tweeted that they should stay peaceful. Of course, the president did address elements of that crowd earlier at a rally before some of them anyway, went up the steps of the Capitol building, and the president apparently went back to the White House. But his tweet
of these mini ones are ABC. ABC was back here. Here they go.
Information being spread by the president, his supporters in Capitol Hill, people who support him in the media, individuals on social media. These people are reacting to the planning that took place in social media and that disinformation. So what do they need to do now? They're going to need to declare this as an unlawful assembly. They need to give people opportunity to clear the grounds peacefully. Then they need to remove people from the building. They need to clear the building. We saw videos of people going into the Capitol with large knapsacks. We've already got reports of explosive devices being located around Washington potentially.
There were people partying in the streets and waving flags, and it was becoming hostile. The fear is tonight that happens again here. People are riled up. There are way more people here tonight than there were last night. And given what's happened at the Capitol, I think those are very valid fears that this could spill over again.
Katie,
so,
I just want to.
What could happen tonight is anyone's guess. Yeah.
Katie, I just want to reassure some people. I know you mentioned that you were down near the Canadian Embassy earlier and had to move away, wisely so. We have heard from Ambassador Hillman, who has tweeted since that the embassy staff are all safe. That's an important thing to mention because I know it was a bit raucous down there, but the Canadian embassy staff are okay.
And Katie, I just wanted to ask you, I know that you're on the streets and you are not near the Capitol building like you were before, but do we know what's...
Where was Sky News at? Donut. What is with this guy?
Going anywhere, at least so far.
Right, and you can see
got the anonymous thing on.
I think closer to the Senate side.
This is where they were at. They went in here. Oh, so you got Senate on one side, House on the other side. Okay. We all learning. We're learning. This still didn't start yet. Yeah, so nothing really has changed much. They're just kind of still going. Oh, this was 3 minutes ago. So this is the same person, BG on scene, independent reporter. I don't think we see this one. Oh, crap.
You want to fight? You better believe you got one.
They said they're holding this place down. So someone tweeted before that they're gonna try to stay there overnight. I don't know if they're gonna be able to. I'm sure they're probably law enforcement's probably bringing in everything they got now. Police attempt to block a door into the Capitol as Trump supporters close in from both sides. Yeah, we saw these already. 12 minutes breaching the line. We didn't see this one yet. Oh boy.
Riot police are still trying to block them from coming in as alarms sound outside the Capitol building.
There's cops there trying to pull them back, but they're pulling them in for the cops. There's like, I can't see how many officers. There's police right there. They're pulling them in. Overnight challenge at the Capitol. If you were this cop right here, what would you do if you was this cop? Would you just kind of give up and let them go in, or would you keep on fighting? That's a hard decision to make right there. I mean, he's just trying to do his job. Some people sound like they're trying to protect the cop. I hear it sounds like some people are trying to protect them. That's good. That's good. That's good when you see people like, no matter what side you're on, when they like kind of protect the people just doing their job, you know. That's good. Cause he just trying. This one was so sad. We saw that one earlier. Why is Target trending? Oh, probably from the Target stuff earlier. What in the world? Okay, yeah, that's something else. They put up a Confederate flag. There goes a guy again with his, what are these, horns, antlers? I wonder if anything else is happening around Washington. It looks like everything is just in the Capitol. Like, it doesn't seem like they're trying to storm any other place besides the Capitol building. Who remembers this mission?
Overlord, this is 102-1 actual.
That's a mission in Call of Duty when Russia invaded Washington, D.C. Here he goes again. There's Batman there. Wait, what?
My nigga, he can't.
I don't even think this is... That's probably something else. I don't know, maybe. I shouldn't be laughing at these memes, but some of the memes are kind of funny. Oh, 49 seconds ago. This dude here is just chilling, like, just another day. I got time. Darn. I'm sure they're laughing at us right now. Yeah, it looks like it's probably starting to wind down, maybe.
gas. We believe it seems to be some sort of mace or pepper spray that they're using on the crowd there. We had been told that some of those protesters were possibly breaking windows, and that's what led to the use of that pepper spray. You can see right over here, we're starting now to see Capitol Police gathering here. They seem to be huddling, discussing, possibly getting ready for something. But all evening since we saw those barricades first come down as protesters rushed to the front of the Capitol, Capitol Police have largely kind of stood back. They have, we've seen them kind of waiting up on different parts of the steps there as the protesters made their way up closer. You can see people standing on an armored vehicle here holding flags, the American flag upside down, a Trump 2020 flag just underneath it. About 10 minutes ago, we were up closer to those stairs and somebody came on a bullhorn, a protester, saying that President Trump says that we should go home. He wants you to go home. Other people in the crowd pushed back on that person, and he said, I know, I understand you want to be here, but he's saying that we should go home. Another person then got on top of that armored vehicle and started yelling at people through the bullhorn to come back. So for now, it seems like there is still a large group of people here who do not have any plans to leave in the immediate upcoming future. I mean, this group, it is not as big as it was a couple of hours ago, but there are still people on these steps who seem to have no plans to leave anytime soon. People that we have seen come out claiming to have been inside the U.S. Capitol. They are greeted kind of as heroes by the crowd here when they come out and they talk about their experience inside. And we saw some people actually following, kind of tracking closely behind a few police in riot gear, calling.
Oh, here's the mayor. Oh, of course, this. I don't know what's up with the Fox News one.
By members of my public safety team. I'm also joined by the Secretary of the Army, Mr. McCartney. This afternoon, I announced a citywide curfew for the District of Columbia beginning at 6 p.m. this evening, going until 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. During the curfew, no one is allowed to be outside in public places other than essential workers, which includes credentialed media engaging in essential functions. As you can see from video images, the unlawful behavior inside the United States Capitol building. I continue to urge all Washingtonians to stay home and stay calm. And if you see something, say something. But above all, stay home. The behavior that we are witnessing is shameful, unpatriotic, and above all, it is unlawful. Anyone who has engaged in these activities, continues to engage in these activities, will be held accountable. There will be law and order, and this behavior will not be tolerated. The Metropolitan Police Department has been deployed to assist the United States Capitol Police in restoring order to the Capitol, and our Chief of Police will lead the command to clear the Capitol building and establish a perimeter around the Capitol. I have requested both the Virginia State Police and the Maryland State Police to deploy officers, and they have engaged immediately to deploy officers to the Metropolitan Police Department to help regain control of the United States Capitol. I have also invoked several days ago a standing mutual aid agreement with our surrounding jurisdictions, and I want to thank them for deploying. Those jurisdictions include Arlington County, Montgomery County, Prince George's County, as well as Baltimore City. We want to thank them for sending their officers in, assisting us with public safety in the district, as well as the response to the United States Capitol building. Additionally, I want to acknowledge and thank the New Jersey State Police, who will also be assisting the Metropolitan Police Department. So with that, I want to turn to Chief Contee for a situational update. Secretary of the Army will make comments, and we will take brief questions.
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, and thank you, Mayor Bowser. My name is Robert J. Contee III. I am the Chief of the Police of the Metropolitan Police Department here in Washington, D.C. As you are aware, demonstrators came to our city this morning to exercise their First Amendment rights and were largely concentrated in the area of the National Mall. Following the president's remarks, a large crowd began to march eastbound on Madison Avenue Northwest and Constitution Avenue Northwest. As the demonstrators approached the United States Capitol grounds, there was a noticeable change in their demeanor. They breached the fencing along the U.S. Capitol grounds and confronted police lines surrounding the building. MPD was requested by the United States Capitol Police to provide assistance with crowd management, and due to the violent behavior towards the police officers there and their intent on gaining access to the Capitol, a riot was declared. It was clear that the crowd was intent on causing harm to our officers by deploying chemical irritants on police to force entry into the United States Capitol building. As you are aware, they were able to gain access to the Capitol building, and I can confirm that one civilian was reported to have sustained a gunshot wound inside of the Capitol. Details of the shooting are not immediately available, and the situation remains under investigation. The Metropolitan Police Department...
There you have it from the Chief of Police. There's confirming that one person was shot inside the Capitol. D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser talking about the curfew she's imposed at 6 p.m., setting up a security perimeter now around the Capitol this evening, as well as we see those protesters continuing in the Capitol. I want to talk to Congressman Markwayne Mullin from Oklahoma, who's in the Rayburn House office building right now. I know you've tried to engage with some of the protesters today. What did you learn, Congressman?
Well, I wasn't so much just trying to engage with them. I was trying to keep them from getting shot. When they started breaking the glass out of the chamber, it sounded like shots were fired. Unfortunately, I've heard shots fired before, and that wasn't it. And so I was talking to them because a couple of the people got excited. If you've seen the picture, there's some, obviously Cat Police, rightfully so, had their guns drawn. And so I was telling them, guys, you're going to get shot. You're going to get killed. Is this what you really want to do? And then we just had a conversation to some degree. And there was a couple of them that was reasonable. There was a couple of them that wasn't. There was a couple of them that was just, they were antagonizers, and all they wanted to do was cause problems. And you can't reason with individuals like that. Unfortunately, this doesn't represent America and our democracy. We have a right to protest, but not like this.
Yeah, it's hard to reason once they've broken through all the barricades in the Capitol. Right. And these images coming from inside the House chamber are just stunning right now. From the talks you had with these protesters, do you have any sense of what they want to happen?
Some of the ones that were there, unfortunately, was just looking for a fight. That's what it was. Unfortunately, they were there to antagonize the crowd. That doesn't represent the rest of the crowd, but some of them were, and they antagonized them. They brought them along. But I want to tell you, the Capitol Police there, a lot of them got injured. I went down to their triage center that was in the basement of one of our house office buildings, and I visited with each one of them. And there was numerous there. Numerous. If I use the word 25, I'd be underestimating it. And all of them were cut or bruised, had been hit, and that doesn't represent a peaceful demonstration. That doesn't represent what we've seen at Trump rallies or anything else. This was a different group of people, and even I found it interesting when I was visiting with some of the Cap Police. They said that these weren't your supporters. The supporters were fine. The ones that attacked us had evil in their eyes. This was separate from the protests. Even the Capitol Police. These are the guys that were injured. These are the guys that had cuts in their face and had their nose broke and all kinds of stuff. And unfortunately, that person that came through the door, I was right there when they came through the door and when that person got shot. And it's a tragic situation that took place, but it left the officer no other choice. And now that officer, that person that got shot, their life has been forever changed. Obviously, their family's life has been forever changed, but also changes that officer that had to discharge his weapon, because if you ever discharge your weapon the first time, it changes you in some degree, and this stuff should have never happened, George. It's sickening and sad that this took place.
Well, there is no question about that, Congressman. We're glad you're safe.
Wow.
That this was a riot, according to Metropolitan Police, and we're learning a bit more now about the...
Alright, so nothing really new is happening.
Another one. Nothing really happening. People climbing on shit. I'm interested to see how spicy it's going to get when that curfew happens. What are these people doing?
Yeah, me too.
Got people arguing, of course, everywhere.
1 hour to curfew times.
Nope, let's not watch that one real quick. Hey, we get to see Capitol Police feet. Sorry, Metro Police feet.
Continue to spread lies about.
T. Martin. Subscribe to his YouTube channel. Damn. The hell? West side of the U.S. Capitol. So somebody really not only got all this wood, but built this thing and actually built steps and stuff. Wowzers. There are still rioters in the Capitol. U.S. Parks Police, ATF is on scene. Damn. Trying to hit him with the pepper spray. Yes, Capitol Police pepper sprays. We saw these already. What does she have? Like one of those party favorite things? I hope they don't like mess up none of this, because there's a lot of like stuff that can't be replaced, like this type of stuff. I mean, not that it really matters, but what a hard day of work. Capitol has fallen. C-Los, what up, C-Los? Welcome to the stream. Cernal, welcome. Yeah, he's gonna chase up the stairs. I'll just lock myself in a room. That is true, C-Los. That is true. I understand getting passionate about a cause, but this ain't the right way, I don't think. Got some backup back there. Gotta give him his props for being so cool in that situation. I don't know what this guy was trying to do. I saw this earlier too. That's how they got in. That's how they got in. They're gonna have to reinforce all this stuff. DC National Guard has been fully activated. This was a minute ago. So this is right here. The heck is this? What? See, that's uncalled for. Like, what's the point of that? It's rolling into daytime news in Australia. Yeah, I'm sure everyone's going to be covering this. Oh, here's the bear cat I was showing you guys earlier. Where is it? I hate when I click on something for one picture and I gotta go through like a million. BBC News. Breaking news. US Capitol on lockdown. Two blocks away from the Capitol, there's just a regular day. Switch to ABC Australia. Okay. I didn't even know ABC was in Australia. ABC News Australia. I'm guessing this is it. But this is old though. I mean, they're probably replaying it a couple of times, but we already saw that. I'll wait for them to finish and then I'll go back to them.
And improvised explosive devices have been found. The chaos followed senior Republicans, including Vice President Mike Pence, making clear they would not overturn the results of the election.
Food truck and make bank.
It was literally an attack on democracy. Supporters of Donald Trump scuffling with police inside the United States Capitol.
British news.
Outside, thousands have besieged the building.
I think Golden Buffalo is a good game. I like Golden Buffalo.
Even at a time when everything seems remarkable in American politics. These are astonishing scenes. Inside the chamber, security personnel with guns drawn at the windows.
How come they all got those
Members
red
of Congress
stickers on
sheltering in place on the floor. People taking what they could as souvenirs. At least one person was shot. Critically injured, police say. Others were injured in the clashes. The chaos and violence indicative of a country riven and a slice of the population unwilling to accept defeat. They'd been sent on their way by a president almost 2 weeks to the moment when he'll leave the White House for the final time, continuing to make the case he didn't really lose at all.
Now it is up to Congress to confront this egregious assault on our democracy. And after this, we're going to walk down, and I'll be there with you. We're going to walk down. We're going to walk down anyone you want, but I think right here we're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women.
If he would have been
and
there,
we're probably
that
not
going
to be cheering so much for.
There's no way you could protect him with that many people around.
What he called the evidence has already been debunked, but as he was speaking, his own vice president was taking his place in Congress for what's usually a formality of certifying his and Trump's defeat. Would he adhere to the Constitution or bow to Trump's pressure to somehow try and overturn the election? We got our answer before he started speaking.
Is my statement out? Yes, sir, it is.
Is my statement out, he says. That statement that he did not have the authority to reject the vote.
There's certainly
still plenty
a
of
lot
Republicans
of energy
continue
still
to
left in the crowd. But I think that I think it's safe to say that law enforcement officers have managed to contain and secure the perimeter of Congress. We're hearing some bangs in the background there. I'm not quite sure what they are, Joe, whether they're flashbangs or something like that. And there's some, plumes of smoke, it looks like, going up there now, but I can't tell you, being this far away, exactly what it is, but some sort of device is being let off there. But yeah, essentially, Joe, I feel like a lot of the chaos that was sort of engulfing the Capitol building earlier has somewhat been brought under control, and that is because of the sheer number of law enforcement officers that converged on the Capitol within a very short period of time. And we had agencies from city, state and federal law enforcement officers. I'll just take you back up there, Joe. They're letting off, I think, what appears to be flashbangs, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, certainly tension still in the air.
Yeah, and Catherine, so in the shots that we can see there now, we can't see many law enforcement officials, but you mentioned that there have been heaps deployed to that area. Does it appear that they are happy to leave that crowd there for the moment, or are there any signs that they're going to try to push this crowd back further, because there's a curfew that's been announced as well?
When I was like, I see them on top of a beer cat or something.
Yeah, I imagine that they probably will. At this point in time, it looks as though, I'm not sure how far you can see, but there are some law enforcement officers in yellow vests, and they're sort of up closer towards the doors or the entrance point to Congress, and they appear to be holding their line at this point in time. But as we get closer to that curfew, as you mentioned, that may well start to change. But looking at the number of them there certainly isn't enough to be able to push back the crowd that we are seeing here. But more broadly across the Capitol, Joe, what we have seen is large convoys of vehicles from those various agencies I mentioned, locking down strategic intersections across the Capitol to try and divert and filter the traffic of these protest groups as they have started to leave the Capitol building. I'll just take you to Pennsylvania Avenue. This is obviously a major road here in the Capitol. You can probably see the flashing lights. That's sort of the sort of scene that we're seeing in various parts of the city. And we've certainly seen large convoys, 15,
We'll just leave you there for the moment. We're going to have a heap of media conferences through this morning. Let's take a listen to this now.
Issues that we had going on in our state and in our country at that time. But we certainly did not allow anarchy, and we will not allow that now here in the state of Georgia. It is unimaginable that we have people in our state and our country that have been threatening police officers, breaking into government buildings. This is not the Georgia way, and it is not the way of our country. An individual being shot during the middle of these activities, and I don't even know the details on that, while they were there, is unimaginable. And for those of you that have been calling on a special session, you can now see what that would have looked like. Rudy Giuliani saying, quote, trial by combat, end quotes, is simply outrageous, and there's no place for that in our nation.
They're pissed off at him.
I want to let my fellow Georgians know that today I will be extending the previous executive order that has activated the Georgia National Guard. That will continue to be in place this coming Monday, and they will be called up as needed. I feel confident that they will not. We have to come together in this state and in this country as we move forward. Now I'll turn it over to Lieutenant Governor Duncan.
Thank you, Governor Kemp. I join you in as strongly and as vehemently as I can condemning the rioting and violence at our U.S. Capitol and other places across this country. Today is an incredibly sobering reminder of how delicate our democracy truly is. It is also a reminder of how dangerous it is when people in power act as if they are more important than that democracy. I call on Donald Trump, President Donald Trump, to speak with all the clarity in the world as to exactly what Americans should do at this point in Washington, D.C. They should exit the Capitol peacefully, and they should allow democracy to once again shine. I want to speak directly to Georgians, every Georgian that can hear my voice. Put down your differences, put down your partisanship, and pick up your freedom. God bless this great state of Georgia, and God bless America.
Okay, so that was live from Atlanta, Georgia. So the Georgia governor and lieutenant governor there with their perspective on the situation. I'm deeply concerned about what's been happening in both Georgia and in Washington.
I'm surprised not really seen anything on...
Are other...
Wait, no, this is Canada.
Deployment.
The U.S. ones aren't really...
People are coming. They're coming from nearby states. We've just been told that the New Jersey State Police are now sending about 50 people. The FBI's there, the Secret Service there, Homeland Security. Just about every three-letter law enforcement organization in the D.C. area is there.
Three-letter law enforcement.
And, you know, I think one of the questions is going to be why has it taken so long to get them there and to kind of coordinate how this is going to work? It does seem, Savannah, from all the pictures we've seen today, now people are, seems like they're definitely being pushed back. From all the pictures we've seen today, it does seem like the word had gone out early on to the people who were in the Capitol at the time, the law enforcement folks, the Capitol Police, Metro Police, to the extent that they were there, not to confront, not to have any violent confrontations, but to avoid that as much as possible. That
it sure seemed that way. I mean, Pete, when you saw people just streaming through Statuary Hall as though it were, you know, a high school tour, and no one stopping them, it definitely seemed that that was a tactical decision. That's the picture earlier.
Well, and you see that the Capitol policemen just sort of standing at the side, I guess, two of them waiting for instructions or something, but they may have well made the calculation that those two were not going to stop those people, and that there wasn't much they could do, and that but by letting them go through and letting them get into the building, of course, we now know what happened. And so there are going to be lots of questions about this. Some law enforcement people are already pointing to a letter that the mayor sent yesterday to the acting attorney general, to the acting secretary of defense, and the secretary of the army, saying, we have all we need for tomorrow. This was yesterday. We have worked with the Park Police, with the Capitol Police, with the Secret Service, and don't send any other federal law enforcement personnel in without checking with us first, because we don't want a situation where there are people deployed and we don't know who they are or who's in charge. So some of the federal officials are already saying, you know, they kept us at arm's length, and that's why it's taking so long to get these people out. Now, you know, we're going to have to wait and see how this all comes together, how that actually played out.
This being Washington, Pete, we will be sure there will be investigations, commissions, and tons of finger pointing and blame shifting, so we can look forward to that in the coming days. But at the moment, we're still in this crisis. These are live pictures from the United States Capitol.
This again, FBI.
I'm not all upset when you did that. Well, you can tweet it, but don't say where it is.
Yeah, definitely.
Serious stuff, dude.
The Senate floor, the House floor, ceremonial offices sit in office chairs literally with their feet up. And now at this hour, about 10 minutes after 5 o'clock on the East Coast, we are starting to see a little more of an aggressive move from law enforcement to push back these protesters. We saw the FBI SWAT team go in a few moments ago. We saw smoke, some flashes of light. We have reporters on the ground. We don't want to surmise what those might have been and at whose hands, but
look at this
perhaps some.
Hold up.
Trump won! Not just Trump!
Sorry about the language.
Shut my fucking anger! Fuck you! It's been 4 years!
Wizards.
Closed location and just carry on the business of the country anyway with a somewhat defiant attitude. What are you hearing now?
Yeah, I've heard similar, Savannah. I've talked to both House and...
This one I saw earlier too. I mean, it's not really funny.
and Senate members, or texted with them, I should say, as they've been trying to figure out what to do. And the first step was to wait for this law enforcement presence to show up, which they clearly have, and the process of that is underway. There is a long list of agencies. Pete walked through some of them that are here that we have seen in the hallways. I mean, it is extraordinarily surreal to see FBI SWAT teams running through hallways that are supposed to be secured, that are supposed to be our corridors of power, literally, where they have been overrun by these rioters and are no longer able to actually exercise that power the way our Constitution says that they should be able to. So you're looking at some of it here. I mean, I never thought I would see anything like this coming from what your last guest was just talking about, a threat from the inside, the former Homeland Security Secretary. This wasn't an outside attack. So yes, there are still questions. We know that their members are still huddling in these undisclosed locations and trying to figure out how to proceed. Senators actually have the Electoral College votes with them in this undisclosed location. I'm told that a Senate staffer actually was the one who thought to grab them. And remember, this is a pretty old, arcane process, the counting of the Electoral College votes. And think back to when they would have put this law in place. I mean, Pete Williams called it the oldest, one of the oldest functions of our government. They would have been bringing these certificates from across the country on horseback. They would have been concerned about whether the people charged with getting them to the right place were able to survive their journeys. I know it may sound dramatic, but that was the circumstances that they were dealing with. And it's part of why the law is written to send several copies of these certificates out there. But what it means is that those physical items are imbued with very important characteristics, right? They come here, they open, this is what Congress is supposed to do, they open the envelopes, they read the numbers, they figure out what they say, and they put down the official tally. And yes, we don't necessarily need to do it that way now in the age of the internet, but that's how we do it here in the country. So the physical manifestation of those is very important, and somebody just grabbed them on the way out and took them to this secure location, Savannah.
Well, you know, I think that's actually quite poignant, Casey. I mean, it's not just a matter of ceremony, or in some ways it is, but at this really dark moment in our country, it calls into mind our history, and that this democracy, this only, few hundred years old, is fragile, as we've heard many of our leaders say today. And that notion of somebody just grabbing those electoral votes, which of course represent the will of the people and the voters who came and exercised their precious right to vote, it actually, I think it really puts things into sharp relief at this extraordinary moment in our country. And Casey, honestly, there are probably folks tuning in here who are just living their lives. We're in the midst of a pandemic. We have an actual crisis going on, a health crisis in our country. And now there's this crisis that did not have to happen. To catch people up who may have not been following this as closely.
What's this?
Another one.
Oh, this is probably when it started going down. No audio. See if I can get the audio for it.
Another one.
Warning: if you have more than 20.
Yeah, no audio. It's probably like a security feed or something that they're, I don't know, watching.
Another one.
Giuliani, this has led to this extraordinarily historic, and historic sounds like a positive word, but I don't mean that, because we've just never witnessed anything like this in our life, where these supporters of the president have felt emboldened enough to carry this out and place the lives of our D.C. Capitol Police and law enforcement in danger, to place the lives of lawmakers in danger, to place the lives of public servants who engage in the daily act of legislating in danger. We were told by Senator Tammy Duckworth that a number of the senators are all together in a safe and secure location, that a smart and quick-acting staffer grabbed these beautiful wooden boxes that contained the electoral votes and brought them safely and securely to, this is them, look at this incredible piece of history.
Senator
look at
Murphy
these boxes.
of Oregon they're all in there essentially.
With the senators, they're secure. The electoral votes are secure. The outcome of this presidential election will not be changed. The vice president, who was implored by President Donald Trump to, in his words, be courageous and change it, said, I'm not going to do that. The Senate Majority Leader, Mitch McConnell, who has carried out the will of this president in almost every way, today said, we're not going down the death spiral of changing what is a duly elected president of the United States. There was not the widespread type of fraud that would change the results of this election. It was an extraordinary rebuke by Republican leader Mitch McConnell, not only of the president of the United States, but of some of his own Senate colleagues, including Ted Cruz, including Senator.
Use our last couple of minutes before we get out of here. Let's go back to Brendan, BG on scene on Twitter. Found this account yesterday. He's a independent reporter.
Holy shit!
I'm gonna get out of here. Oh yeah, we saw the rest of these already. Oh, I thought it was more. Okay, yeah, it was just that one. Look how dark it is.
In the Pentagon instead. The Capitol building has.
If we can, if Yaz, actually, let me move there. Let's go to Igor Bobek. He's Igor Bobek at the Huffington Post. And if you've been on Twitter and seen some of the first early pictures of what was going on inside the Capitol, it was courtesy of pictures from Igor Bobek. So, Igor, you were there in the first moments when this breach, it appears, occurred. Take me through the scene there when it all first started to happen.
Thanks, Chuck. Well, I was in the middle of reporting on today's certification vote for the 2020 election when I heard a commotion, I heard yelling, and I ran down to the first floor of the Senate where I encountered, I was stunned to encounter a group of protesters trying to make their way up the steps into the Senate, to the second floor of the Senate. And I saw this police officer courageously try to hold them off with nothing but a baton, but was ultimately unable to do so. And the protesters chased them up the steps where there was a sort of a standoff, and right steps away from the Senate floor. These protesters were carrying Confederate flags. They were yelling traitors. They were saying that, they needed to stop this from happening in order to make Trump president. Really just shocking scenes. At one point, a few of them got into the Senate chamber itself and got up to the day where Mike Pence was presiding minutes earlier to take photos and to scream that this was Donald Trump's election. It's really stunning scene.
Basically.
Igor, I'm seeing you've caught some pictures. There clearly is some Capitol Police that was there at the time. Were they aggressively trying to push them back, or did they feel overwhelmed, or what could you observe at the time?
I heard
how were the Capitol Police handling what they had? Were they just overwhelmed?
I think initially they were overwhelmed and unaware, frankly, some of them, that protesters had gotten into the Capitol. I took this video of this lone police officer trying to hold back this group of 15 to 20 protesters, and finally receive backup yelling that, they've gotten in. When he did receive backup, they tried to de-escalate the situation, tried to talk to them to calm them down, but ultimately they would not leave, and eventually roamed across the Capitol into the rotunda and into the Senate chamber itself.
He has wire ties.
Igor, are you safe? Where are you right now?
I am safe, thank you. I'm at a secure location. I'm outside the Capitol. I'm holding here, and we're all trying to see what comes next tonight.
Well, Igor Bobak, thanks for sharing your photos with the world, getting us these photos. There's a lot more we need to unpack with this. You stay safe, and of course, thank you for your brave reporting. Let me bring in Hakeem Jeffries. He's a member of the Democratic leadership, Democrat from New York. And Congressman, we got a report that you and Congresswoman Liz Cheney had been sort of reassuring the leadership and reassuring members that this process is going to go forward, that these terrorists are not going to stop, if you will, this process. Do you have an idea of when the Capitol is going to be safe for your return?
They lost signal. Wow. Yeah, I can't believe either, Joey. So that was a lot to unpack. A lot happened today. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here now. I'm going to keep watching everything on my phone, though, and watching the news, watching Twitter. But, yeah, thank you guys for hanging out with me while we kind of watch history today, I guess. I don't even know what to call it, but, yeah. Crazy. Gas masks on. They're probably about to use gas.
In that opportunity, that's the other side. We don't have the social safety net. The capitalism isn't working for the average American.
Well, at least they won't get COVID with these masks on. No, that's not really something to joke about, but your dad said this will be in the history books for 150 years. It probably will be for a long time. You're glad you're into politics? Yeah. I am too. Sorry, I'm switching so fast. I'm just kind of looking through all of them, seeing what's happening. This Fox News one, unless here, I'm just very unlucky. This one hasn't been working. See what Newsmax is saying.
In perspective here, there is a difference between peaceful protesters and people who show up to commit violent acts. And it bothers me as a law enforcement officer my entire life that people are quick to blame the protesters who were there without ever investigating who committed these violent acts. So I think it's incumbent on people to calm down, and I'm talking about the mainstream media and others, to understand that before you jump to conclusions and blame the moms, the dads, the cops, the teachers.
Crazy.
Senate runoff elections now.
So be safe, everyone. Thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna go ahead and head out. I probably will stream a little bit later. I'm gonna be live from the Cups 5M server. We're doing some fighter roleplay, I believe. So that should be pretty fun. But yeah, guys.